there's a funny thing, because I feel like, for me anyways, and people I've talked to in the clinic, or even outside the clinic, sometimes there's this deep knowing. And it's inside of us, right? Like there's something inside us that just knows, but it's difficult to articulate in an intelligent or intellectual academic way of what this knowing is.
I'm Michael Max, and this is Geological, the podcast that curates East Asian medicine and methods through the power of conversation. I've wasted a lot of time in the worship of answers. Imagined that a good answer will not only quiet the anxiety of the day, but beyond that, have some kind of value and worth that I could take to the bank. It's not hard coming to the conclusion that the right answer has value. It gets you a gold star in the second grade. It feels good to have an answer to a problem and show off that you got some smarts. Being social critters, we value people who are reliable, trust people who dependably solve problems, and admire those who put things together in useful and novel ways. There's plenty of good reasons for having the capacity to come up with correct answers, and even more so, to come up with answers that are useful. There's a difference between right and useful answers. Right answers can solve a problem in the short term, maybe by displacing the troubles to somewhere else, so it's helpful in a small localized way, but its second-order effects bring about other issues. Then there are the useful answers, the ones that are sustainable, work at scale, consider second-order effects. I'd go so far as to say those who can reliably consider second-order effects verge a bit on prophecy, as that kind of multidimensional thinking goes beyond the usual frame that most of us employ in the scurry to solve a problem and get on to the next thing. Yeah, lots of good reasons to value answers. It's a bit cliche to say that curiosity is worth cultivating. Sounds like something you'd hear from a life coach or a speaker at a commencement gathering. I've often enough ignored digging into what I don't understand, in part because I wasn't sure where to begin, and in part because admitting ignorance is a kind of muscle that requires training. I didn't understand that working through problems meant working through my own limitations, biases, unchallenged assumptions, and beliefs that anchored a fragile sense of identity. Curiosity, genuine curiosity, it's a bit dangerous. It's a solvent to certainty. It will make you uncomfortable. It will expose you to the holes in your knowledge, show you where your arguments and ideas don't hold water. It takes an unusual fortitude to face up to what you don't know, and with enthusiasm, take that as a starting point. I've wasted a lot of time because too often I've come up against those lacunae in understanding, and instead of walking into that uncharted territory, decided that because I didn't understand, that maybe it wasn't important, or worse, so as to distance myself from discomfort, decide that that particular area was worthless, stupid, or somehow lacking in virtue. But the truth is, the lack of virtue was entirely in my attitude and laziness. For example, at a younger age, I didn't understand very well how to make money. Rather than own up to that deficiency, I decided that money was inherently a bad thing, and those who had it were somehow suspect, which cut me off from the very resources who might teach me how to get out of my self-induced poverty. Instead of recognizing that I was not very good at talking to people who held beliefs that were different from mine, I decided those people were not worth talking to. A more productive solution would have been turning my focus toward learning some fundamentals of communication skill that would give me a wider bandwidth in connecting with others who were different than I was. The list, it goes on. Too often, instead of leaning on curiosity and being willing to look clumsy or ill-informed in service of finding skills I didn't yet have. Instead, I looked for easy answers. And it let me off of a hook that I should have been on. It feels good to have the sense of things being settled. But that which is still unsettled, it doesn't go away. At least, hopefully, it doesn't go away. Because it's the fuel for curiosity. And no, the idea of cultivating curiosity, it's not cliche. It's the way forward when you don't know what to do, especially when you've decided that it's time to do something about it. Sometimes you're called to a path, but like a seed waiting for the right conditions, it takes time before you're ready to undo your life enough to let in something new. Anita Chopra didn't study medicine in school. She studied marketing and then had a career working in that field before finding her way into acupuncture. And likewise, her first encounters with Lillian Bridges was due to needing some quick CEUs so she could update her license. But then in the plague years, something changed, and learning face reading became center stage for her. I find a kind of comfort in knowing her story, that it takes time to ripen into being ready to engage a new understanding that is going to unravel and then reweave you. This conversation, it's not just about gaining a new skill. It's about how you grow into a new skin. These conversations come to you through the generous support of our sponsors and members. You have clinic challenges, our sponsors have solutions. Mayway helps you to navigate the autumn season of change with information from their podcast and newsletter and with quality herbs. Are you licensed in California and want to get on the best paying insurance rolls? AccuCare has been helping acupuncturists do that for over 30 years. One of the foundations of a smooth-running clinic is having a supplier that you can rely on. Blue Poppy is your trusted source, and you can get free shipping. Later in the show, you'll hear about how Jane's AI scribe frees you from writing clinic notes and why golden flower Chinese herbs is old-fashioned enough not to use an automated answering system. Do be sure to visit the sponsors page on the Qiological website to take advantage of all the special offers that our terrific sponsors have for listeners of the podcast.
Hi folks, I'm Yvonne Lau, president of Mayway Herbs. Autumn is a season of change, both in terms of weather and health, and this month at Mayway, we're focused on helping you support your patients through this challenging transition. In our newsletter and in our podcast Chinese Medicine Matters, we'll feature classic formulas for wind-related conditions, highlight traditional festivals like the Mid-Autumn and Double Ninth celebrations, and share product deep dives to help you choose the best formulas for your patients during this time of year. Since 1969, Mayway Herbs has been a trusted source for high-quality herbal products. Our Plum Flower brand line includes pills, tablets, extract granules, and organic herbs. And along with educational resources, articles, and videos, we're here to help you provide the very best patient care. Please visit us at mayway.com to explore more. Deep thanks, as always, for your support. And here's to cultivating healthy resilience with the wisdom of real Chinese medicine.
Are you a California licensed acupuncturist who accepts insurance or wants to? Are you satisfied with your current reimbursements? You could be earning more. With the right support, joining top insurance networks such as Cigna is simple. AccuCare was started 30 years ago by acupuncturists for acupuncturists. AccuCare has already negotiated top reimbursement rates for acupuncturists. With AccuCare, you'll spend more time with patients and less time battling insurance paperwork. Email AccuCare@AccuCare.com and let them help you get in-network with Cigna and other well-paying companies. Get paid what you deserve. Email AccuCare@AccuCare.com and save $100 on your credentialing application fee. Use the code PROSPER. That discount code again, PROSPER. Contact AccuCare at AccuCare.com to get higher reimbursement rates and a credentialing company you can trust. Running a smooth, efficient clinic starts with the right supplier, and that's where Blue Poppy comes in. From premium acupuncture needles to trusted herbal formulas, Blue Poppy supports your practice with products that you can count on. That includes their Classics line, featuring over 40 of the most popular traditional Chinese medicine patents, now available in convenient capsule form. Starting October 1st, you can save 15% on the entire Classics line. Perfect for restocking your clinical essentials. Even better, Blue Poppy offers free shipping on all orders over $50 with no restrictions in the continental U.S. For nearly 40 years, Blue Poppy has been a trusted partner to licensed acupuncturists, known for high-quality products and outstanding service. Visit BluePoppy.com today to see why so many practitioners rely on Blue Poppy. And don't forget to subscribe to their mailing list for exclusive offers and updates. Anita Chopra, welcome to Geological.
Thank you.
We were talking just a couple of minutes ago, just chitter chat before we roll some tape. And you said something that I thought it was funny, but it's also so true, right? You're like,
Yeah.
How did I get here? It's like, oh my God, I'm going to be on the podcast.
Yes.
How did I get here? And then we talked a bit about the Talking Heads and that famous song, Once in a Lifetime. But the universe is so generous. Here's the funny thing. I always ask people, how did they get here? Right? Like whatever got in your mind to go study Chinese medicine? Like, why would any normal human being go to a thing like that?
I know. I that's such a great question. Are you asking me this?
Sure, why not? Because it's a great place to start.
I had completed my university degree in marketing, and it had never been on my radar to do Chinese medicine at all. And in fact, my father had wanted a medical doctor in the family. I'm Asian, so many Asians will know that's a wonderful thing for most Asian parents.
Yeah, I'm Jewish. It's the exact same thing.
So we have things.
It's no different.
We have things in common. Yeah. And so I worked, and then I had some health issues, and I went to doctors, and they basically wanted just to put me on medication. And I was like, well, is this going to get to the root of it? And they were, no, but it'll help the pain. And so I started to look into Chinese medicine because growing up, his father was an Ayurvedic practitioner in India. And growing up, we would go to Chinatown, and my dad would get herbs from people, like tell them his ailment, and they would just give him these random pills, and he would take them.
So your dad used it. Your dad used Chinese medicine.
He did. And funnily enough, though, he also worked in the medical library at the university. So he worked with doctors. Mm-hmm. And so there was always this circling of medicine. And I had decided I would not go into medicine. So I deliberately did a degree as far as possible from it. And I deliberately. And then I wasn't feeling well. And then I had the options of going to like naturopathy or acupuncture or herbs or Western herbs. And I decided to do Chinese medicine. And so I started that journey, and then it helped me. And so the long story short is the job got stressful, and I really thought about, is this what I want to do? And at the time when I started 20 years ago, there weren't a lot of people doing Chinese medicine. It was still like, now physios do it and everyone knows about acupuncture. But at that time, It was relatively very low key. So I decided.
Not common.
No, yeah, it was not.
Not common.
Not common at all.
You were stepping off an edge.
Big time. Big time. And so it was so helpful to me. I decided I would quit my job, move cities, and start Chinese medicine, like start another 5 years to do it. Because I thought if it could help me in the way it's helped me. And you have to remember, I was 23. So maybe in your 20s, you're a bit more hopeful or you have big dreams.
I hope so.
Yeah. And so
I think the 20s, that's partly what it's about.
yeah.
Like, do it now. You got time to recover if you're wrong.
Yes. And so I went and so I left. And I knew this would cause discord in my family. Like when my father found out, he was very upset. But I left and I did it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do medicine. I'm moving to another town to learn medicine. A weird medicine at that.
Oh, yeah.
The Tao is like slippery and tricky.
Well, yeah. And you have to remember, like, I came from a fancy business school, and then suddenly I'm in this school. It's pink. There's graffiti in the back of the parking lot on this street called Pandora. And I still remember.
Oh, no, seriously?
Yes. Meaning all gifted. And I was like, so there I am on Pandora Street in this bright pink building. And I still remember my mother came to visit me, but my father wouldn't because he was upset at the time. And she said, thank goodness your father never saw this school.
That's right. Pink building on Pandora Street. Yeah, Pandora's box. Like, okay.
Yes.
All kinds of weird stuff.
Yes. And we called it the pink. Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It's funny timing. Like just 2 weeks ago, I met up with 5 of my classmates and it had been 20 years. And we were sharing stories, but it's like where you begin makes such an impact on where you go.
Oh, I like that. Where you begin makes such an impact on where you go.
Yes.
Oh my, I got to write that down. That's powerful. I think it's true.
Yeah. And the owner of the school, he has now passed away. He was our teacher, Wally. And it means phoenix. And so all of us were talking about how this journey of going through Chinese medicine is like the phoenix and that going through the fire. And like, of course, like fire is the alchemy, right? It's what makes change. And so this whole change from that. So I had studied Chinese medicine and it's wild. Like I never intended to do face reading either, right? Like doing Chinese medicine, that wasn't on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't it strange how there are so many phenomenal things in life? I'm going to say, at least in my case.
Yes.
The best. All the very best things. Never on the radar. I'm doing something else. They glimmer from the periphery. They never are straight ahead. Ever. At least in my life. Never straight ahead. A little glimmer on the periphery. Huh. What's that? Turn. Reorient a little bit. Oh, that's interesting. Then you're doomed. Right? Not.
No, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I love this metaphor on the side because I think there's something about like I wanted the sign in my face, or you almost want like the angels to come down from the heavens and tell you what is your way. And this beautiful way you're saying it, like it's these glimmer on the sides. Like to me, what just came to mind is maybe it has to be that way so that you can gently go that way. Because if it's right there, it might be too scary or too much to swallow at once. But if you can see that side and you know it's there, then there's that inkling, okay, I'm going to head in that direction.
I suspect the ego wants a big billboard that says, this is the sign.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah.
Right? You're not alone. I think it's all of us. I want the shine. I want the sign.
Yeah.
I want to be the good kid. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I don't want to screw up my life. But it just don't work that way.
No.
Right? Angels don't speak loudly. and if they do, I think it's in such a terrifying voice, we just can't hear it.
Yeah. But then there's a funny thing, because I feel like, for me anyways, and people I've talked to in the clinic or even outside the clinic, sometimes there's this deep knowing. And it's inside of us, right? Like there's something inside us that just knows, but it's difficult to articulate in an intelligent or intellectual academic way of what this knowing is. And like, you have to remember, because I had a degree, I was very academic. I was at the top of my class, like that good Indian girl.
In marketing. Good Indian girl in marketing. She's doing good in business. We're so proud of her.
Yeah. And I was working at the time. I had a pension. I had everything. And I've left it. But there was this knowing inside, like, I think there is something here for me, like my health. Like, I can't even say it was totally altruistic to like change the world. There was something in there that I felt I had to learn for me so I could do my life better.
And there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And so you started.
Yes.
Yeah. I find people's, like pretty much everybody's story
Mm-hmm.
that I've talked to on the podcast, how they've come to this, I've had everything from people like yourself, this glimmer, the thing I didn't even ever want to do. In fact, it was the opposite of what I wanted to do, all the way to the far side of, and I love this one, a guy who's sitting in a restaurant or a coffee shop, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not trying to eavesdrop, but there's two women behind him
Yeah.
that are talking loudly. And one of them said something to the effect of, yeah, I've signed up for acupuncture school. And he, like in that moment, he hears it. And in the next moment, he's like, yep, that's what I'm doing. And he goes off and registers the next day.
And who is this he? Who is this guy?
Well, it's on the podcast and you can listen. I don't want to name names, but what an extraordinary human to be able to go, oh, yep, there it is. Ping, got it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm much more, I argued with myself for years before I went to acupuncture school.
Yes. Yes.
I had a great career and a master's degree I was never using and already paid it off. Like, I'm going to go back to school? Are you crazy?
Yes. I had that dialogue too.
Yeah. So here you are, 20 years down the road.
Yes. Which is wild.
What would you say? I mean, there's so much in that 20 years that you learned, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get into one aspect of it in a moment, the face reading.
Yes.
But beyond the little bits of what you got, if you could put like a theme to it, what have you gotten in the past 20 years?
A magical life.
What's it? A magical life.
And this line comes from Lillian from my face reading.
Mm.
I remember when I got my face reading done from her, she said, I see for you a magical life, a magical life. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what? And now I see how grateful I am. Things come together when you're open for it to come together.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a magical life means.
Potentially.
They come together when potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And also like that element of luck. Like in Ming, luck is an aspect.
Mm.
I think I have been so lucky or blessed to have, like, I went, like, despite being a pink kind of ghetto school, the teachers were incredible. They were incredible. They had come from China. They knew what they were talking about. So we had an amazing education in this pink box.
Pink ghetto school on Pandora Avenue.
Yeah, we called it the pink. All of us called it the pink.
Oh my God. I could see you running the other way. I could see you looking at that and going, and on Pandora Avenue, like,
Yeah.
like there's a sign.
I know. And that
You sure you want that?
street is notorious for sketchy stuff. And it still is the town. But I think what drew me to it was the people in it. Like, you have to see what's in the box, what's in the gift. And these teachers from China, like authentic, had something to give. And looking back, I feel like I was very lucky to get that.
Yeah, that's great. Now, you do acupuncture, you practice the medicine, you've been at it for 20 years. That's not...
Yes.
It's not a short amount of time. It's a cool way to live your life.
Yes.
Goes by in a hurry.
Yes.
How did the face reading come into this?
Oh, so...
I want to know where that began and...
Okay, yeah. That also,
Yeah, let's start with that.
okay, so as many of you know, or some of you, in order to keep your license, you have to get CEUs. You have to get your continuing ed hours.
To keep yourself sane, you have to get CEUs because you got to figure the damn stuff out.
Yeah, but in my case, like 2 years in, right, after school, then I found out, oh, you have to have like X amount of continuing ed hours, and they were due like in a month or 2 months.
Mm.
And I was like, how am I going to do this so I can renew my license? Yeah.
Oops.
So there's a conference, and it's cleverly scheduled at the renewal of your CEUs, like just before. But it's in Vancouver, and it's put on, at the time it was called Comms, now it's called Flow. And they bring in many speakers.
The guys at Eastern Currents.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So they bring in many speakers, and then you can sit and listen. So for me, I had gone to get my hours. Like, I don't even recall who was speaking.
Mm.
But that time, so way back when, it must be like 15, 18 years ago, Lillian was there. And I saw...
She just happened to be there.
Yes, Lillian Bridges was speaking, and I saw her speak. And I think what captivated me was she was engaging, she told stories, it wasn't dry. And I was like, wow, like, who is this person?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the room was full, like, because you can break out after. So I remember seeing, like, the room was full, and she was talking about face reading, and I thought it was interesting. But then I just, like, notched it, right? Like, this is 2 to 4 years into practice, so I just didn't do anything about it after. But that was the first time I had seen her.
You were engaged by what she said.
Yes.
You were there for CEUs.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. I can renew my license. Yes.
On with things. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then what happened?
So then I studied, I really was interested in people's faces. So then I did a facial acupuncture course in Calgary with another teacher. So I got certified in facial acupuncture. And while I was doing needling for the face, because, it's about like helping people with their lines and wrinkles, I was like, sometimes when I needle them, their lines are still there, things aren't changing. So I was like, what is this about? Like, so it was sort of sitting there. That must have been 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I mean, time is going by. And then fast forward, we go to another flow. I go to another flow, and this is in 2017, I think. Or 2016. Anyways, somewhere in there, she's there again, and she's speaking. And again, the face reading catches me because she says something like lines are holographic, that they can come and go on the face. And I was like, this is interesting, right? And so we're there, and I realize I'm really drawn to it, but I'm fighting myself because I think, like, this is so hokey, like face reading, like already I've gone into Chinese medicine. Like, I'm already out there. Now there's this woman who's doing face reading, and that's even more out there. But it caught my attention, and then that's when I thought maybe I could study with her.
Here's some more weird stuff. Oh, man, what's Dad going to say about this?
Yeah, well, my father passed away 9 years ago. And it was really hard. He was going in and out of the hospital, and everyone was saying he was fine. So we thought whatever was going on was in his head. And I'm the oldest of 6. So I remember flying back to the hospital and seeing him. And then finally, the doctors, they just said, we're going to take his gallbladder out. And they're like, okay, we've got to tell you, he's got stage 4 cancer. He's got a few weeks to live. And I was like, how did this happen? Like, how could I be in Chinese medicine? How could we all miss this? And then I thought, oh, like if there was something I could have seen, could I have helped? As my dad got his diagnosis, 6 weeks later, he passed away. So it was quite a shock. But on the thing that was a great I want to say blessing or a wonderful thing that came out of it is before he died, he asked me for acupuncture. Like we had such a hard time.
Yeah.
And he had asked me for that. And then I felt like it was full circle because I could give that to my dad.
Totally.
Yeah. And so.
What a gift. That is a blessing.
Yeah. And so I felt like before he died, he gave his okay to do the medicine. Yeah.
That's sweet. Difficult moment with sweetness.
Yes. Okay. So then flow comes after, and Lillian's talking about face reading and diagnosis. And then that thought occurs to me, oh, if I could have seen something. So the wheels start turning. And while I was in lecture with someone else, we had been looking at buying a house. My husband is sitting outside with my daughter. She was, I think, 2 at the time, 2 or 3. And he's tired. He's waiting for me to come out. I had brought my whole family. And he's sitting at a table, unbeknownst to me. And he's like, you'll never guess. I was talking to this woman and I was telling her about the house. And she says we should buy the house. She thinks it'll be a great idea. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, it's that lady, Lillian Bridges. That's who he was talking to. It was crazy.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did buy the house. Like my husband will say for practical reasons. But anyways, and so then I started the inquiry. And so a year later, I emailed her about getting my face read because I wanted to make sure she would be a good teacher. So a friend of mine and we went down to Seattle. We dragged our kids on like this early morning ferry, like 6 o'clock from Victoria to Seattle. These kids are so little. And we go and each of us get our face read from her. And then I was like, this lady has something. She has something. And the way I felt, I was like, if I can give someone that feeling, then it's worth it. And so then I asked her in the face reading if I could study with her, and she said yes. So we think we got the face reading in the summer, and by September we started Shen.
This episode is brought to you by Jane, a practice management software and EMR built to support you in the day-to-day work of running your business. If you're a health or wellness practitioner, you already know the care you provide starts well before your patient arrives and extends well beyond the treatment room. Jane is here to support every part of that experience. With online booking, your patients can book a time that works for them, and with features like waitlist notifications, they'll even be able to grab a last-minute opening when those pop up. It's an easy way to keep your schedule full while getting your patients the care that they need. During your appointment, Jane's AI-powered documentation feature can help you thoughtfully take notes so you can stay present with the person who's in front of you. After appointments, you can end your time together on a healing note, not a transactional one, by charging the credit card on file and rebooking before they head out the door. To learn more about how Jane can support you and your patients, head to jane.app/demo. One more thing, if you're ready to get started with Jane, use the code QIOLOGICAL for a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account. That's quite a story.
Yeah.
All kinds of bits of serendipity, which I've also found is part of that stuff from the periphery.
Yes.
Little pings that go, oh, you're on track. Ping, you're on track. Ping, you're on track.
Mm-hmm.
I love schlepping your kids down. We're going to go do this.
We did.
Is she for real or not? Let's go check it out. I'm going to go have her read my face. I'm going to do my due diligence. I think maybe I'm going to get on the soapbox for a second. I think it's an important thing to do. I think it's important to do your due diligence. I've run into so many people that have gone to acupuncture school because, it just seemed like a good idea. And maybe that is exactly right for them. But there's also been a bunch of people that have gone to acupuncture school and it's like, what did I get into? Maybe this isn't for me, but now I'm already in it. So maybe that's called tuition, life tuition. I'm with you. Maybe I'm just a little bit like you is what I'm trying to say. Check things out a bit.
Yes.
especially when you're about to leap into the abyss.
Yes. And you could,
All right. You're not going to get a full clear yes because that's impossible. But there's a nudge that you'll get or not get. And it sounds like you got the nudge.
well, yeah. And you could see this journey started like 18 years ago with the CEUs and seeing her. And I had seen her, I think, even in San Diego, because there's another conference
Right.
later on. Like I had to see her a few times. And I also went to other speakers, right? Because like in the morning, you have to listen to everyone. Not have to, but that's what's offered. And it's wonderful because you get to hear all these ideas. And I think also what was puzzling or interesting is she did not do Chinese medicine. Like she was not an acupuncturist or like she didn't have that. Her thing was face reading and then Taoist design like feng shui. But the effect of the conversation was so moving. I knew there was something there for me.
Well, you wanted to see what was in the box.
I guess so. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little more about what's in the box.
You mean?
Because when I think about face reading,
I know.
so two things.
Yes.
There's a part of me that thinks, oh yeah, I'm going to use this for medical purposes, and this is this and this is that. I'm going to get these I'm going to be able to see things that other people can't see.
Yes.
So I can use it diagnostically, like you were thinking about for your dad. I've also had the very good fortune to have had a face reading from you. You offered this to me.
Yes.
Before we had a conversation. And it was nothing like I expected.
No.
So I'd like to hear from you a bit about how you stir together your medicine and your face reading. Yes, they're both part of Chinese culture. Yes, they're both part of ancient traditions. Yes, they have to do with people's well-being, their Ming, their destiny, their in this moment, the things that they still hold etched on their face. You know, you saw this in the work with doing cosmetic acupuncture. I can't erase this. What's here? So I'd love to hear a bit about how you've stirred these things together, and even more so, how it's changed how you think about medicine.
Oh, wow. So how I stirred it together. So I spent 3 years, like up until she passed away, I spent studying under her. And in that time, I completed everything. And as we were doing it, I think when you're a student, or I'll speak for myself, there's sort of a passive learning. Like I'm taking it in, but I'm not necessarily thinking of how I need to do it because my mentor is here. So like if anyone needed a face reading, I would just send them to her because she's incredible, right? I had a face reading. And it never occurred to me I would do face readings because I thought I would study for years with her, right? Like it would be time, like we would have time. And then she passed away, I think it was in 2021. It was 4 years ago in September now. And when she passed away, because when she was teaching us, because she had learned from her grandmother, who had learned from her grandfather. And this was from the Chen family lineage. And it was kept in the family. And I think she knew when she passed, no one in the family was studying it. So she wanted to teach. She
didn't want it to disappear.
Yeah, so let me be very clear. The face reading I know is from Lillian Bridges, is from the Chen family lineage, and that I have gratitude for that because she said we could teach it and we could share it, but to honor the ancestors. So this is me honoring her and her ancestors. So then the question is how do I mix it? So yeah, so normally like what she would do is give a face reading and then she's done. She would refer you to like a therapist or to acupuncture or to whatever the thing is that would help with what she saw, right? But here I am, now I'm in the clinic and some of my patients, they get a face reading. Now I'm going to see them the next day. Like, how do I use that? So then, because once she passed away, then I started doing face readings. So I started doing face readings after she left. And then I started thinking, how am I going to coordinate my treatment to what we've seen in the face reading and what was discussed? Because I think the other thing too is I want people to know I ask for permission for people if I can look, like, see their face or look at their face. I ask, can I look at your face? And then I ask, can I tell you what I see? Because if someone's not ready, then I think you have to respect that. Like, they have to be open to that. And then from there, I had to decide, okay, like, let's say I see, like, even the basic, like, if there's some liver cheese stagnation, then how am I going to help the liver? Like, how are we going to move that? What points are we going to pick? So it sort of became a bit of trial and error. And so then I was combining it, but simultaneously, I mean, this is another tangent, but so simultaneously after she passed away, on another forum, like on Healthy Seminars, they do free webinars, right? So they did one in October, the month after she passed away. They did one on grief and using Tian Fu, the spirit point of lung 3. And it was free. So I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up. That's what's so great. And it was with this woman named Lori Deshar. So Lori does this talk on Tian Fu and grief. And then at the end, we get to ask questions. And I ask her this question about how do you honor your mentors after they pass away? And this grief, guys, I had this overwhelming grief that she had left. Like, Lillian had this ability, like all of you felt like, we all felt like we were her favorite kid. You know how parents have a favorite kid? Like her students, because she could see us and she would tell us what our gift was. And it was very direct, very specific to everyone. And so everyone had a connection with her. And you'll hear this theme with her students. And so I posed this question to Lori, and Lori said, oh, just by asking this question, you're honoring your mentor. Because what I realized, like when I came into Chinese medicine, right, like Machiocha, like all these people were speaking, they were on tour, like they were sort of the guides, right? Now, suddenly 20 years later, we're in this position. Like we are now coming here. And like I said at the beginning, how did I get here? And when your mentor passes, if you don't share or extend what was given to you, it dies with you too. And so then I realized, like, how do I keep this alive in the way like that's authentic to me, right? Like every student's going to do it differently. So the long and the short of it is then I found out Lori Deshar, she wrote 5 Spirits. And that talk, there was one talk in Ming Lillian did about how important the 5 spirits were to face reading, but she didn't know much. And she's like, you should find someone. And it's in one of the lectures. So then I started studying under her, and that has helped me combine the acupuncture with the face reading and the alchemy and the change. Like, how do we change what's happening? How do we remove the obstruction to someone's Ming? And then how do we get people to see themselves for who they are and who they know they are and let them know it's okay?
It's okay to be who you are.
Yes. Lillian's favorite saying, one of my favorite saying was be you and be you more. Yes. Yes. I don't even know if that answered your question. It's sort of all over.
Well, it's a big question.
Yeah. And coincidentally, too, when that day that I met Lori, that was Diwali, which is the Festival of Lights, right? It is honoring...
The Festival of what?
Of Lights in India. It's the Festival of Light.
Oh.
So it is honoring your ancestors. It is about light overcoming darkness. So it was just this whole mesh of things. And also, again, the way she made me feel in that one question was the impetus to then learn with her too. Because like her work is out there too. And I was like, so these strong women and their work is out there. Now suddenly I'm out there with them. And I was like, okay, here we go.
Yes. Yes. And now it's your turn.
Yes.
It's your turn because your mentor has passed.
Yes.
So ready or not, batter up.
Yeah. And that can be scary and overwhelming. But I can say it was my love and respect for her that made me go. Like that first face reading, the first few face readings, because this is what I realized too. And I think it's in Chinese medicine, but especially in face reading, you learn all this stuff. And then suddenly you've got a person in front of you. You don't know who this person is. And they're like, okay, let's do a face reading. You have to trust. I had to trust what I've learned, one, was true, that I could see it. And then when I tell someone, it's going to make a connection. You're kind of really on the edge of a cliff, like, oh boy, I hope I'm going to fly. And then the more face readings I did, the more people were like, how do you know that? How do you see that? And then I was like, I was given something and it was true. And the proof is in the pudding because it was in my practice.
Yes. And how do you get it in your practice? You get it in through doing the practice. Will this work? I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
Having the courage. Try it out. See what happens. Calibrate. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah. And I think like a clear example for any practitioner is like, we're told in school Zhu San Li is good for the stomach. It's good for constipation. It's good for loose stool. It's good to build your qi. But how do you know? Like you're learning what all the energetics of these points are, but you're trusting that they're going to do what they do. The only way you know is when you're you're in the room and the patient is there and you're like, let's go. Then you see the magnitude of what we've been given and in this medicine.
I found too with the points, because they have different, I'm going to say, capabilities.
Yes.
Based on context.
Yes.
Based on the patient, based on me and how I feel about the point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I get to know points.
Yes.
Like for a point to work, for a point to really work and be able to use it, you have to get to know it. Like you get to know a friend.
Yeah, you make friends with it. I was just going to say that.
You have to make friends with it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that takes time. And I suspect with the face reading, it's not dissimilar. It takes time to go, oh, I see this. I think I know this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's ask a clarifying question just to see if that's true or not.
Yeah. And I think, so with face reading, when I started, so after she passed, then I started doing it. Simultaneously, I'm in the mentorship, right? But while I was doing face reading, so then you find out, oh, okay, let's say even 80% of what I've been taught, I've been seeing on faces, I can see that now. Like, then the question came to me was, well, so what? Like, now I see it. What am I going to do with it? What's the intention, right? So you can like wow people and they're like, wow, you see this or you see this. But I'm like, why am I face reading? What am I doing this for? And then just in this last year, because it's 4 years in September, like I said, it came to me, I'm doing face reading to see what obstructs us from our Ming. Like, what is the blockage from us doing our life authentically? So then we have somewhere to go, and I think there's a deep healing in that. But in order to be a good face reader, and Lillian said this too, you must clear your stuff as a practitioner. So it means clearing out your resentments or the blames you have or the things you have. Because in order to see, there's got to be a clear field, and it means both ways.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you say that intuitively makes sense. So, and then you just used a couple of very interesting words. You have to clear out your field. You have to clear out your resentments. You have to clear out, there was something else you said, I can't remember. Blame,
like the old stuff, all that stuff we have, right? Because I think as practitioners, sometimes we're like, oh, I'm going to help you, or I can do this for you. And what I've learned through the work I've done, yes, and the part is first help yourself.
Well, there is a very old archetype that I think goes through many cultures, and that is of the wounded healer. So that's not a reason not to do the work. It's a reason to do the work. Maybe something that drew us into the work. But and it's great that it's drawn us into the work, but there's stuff that will get in the way if it's not somehow brought to light.
Yeah, and for me personally, like, I am East Indian Canadian. I grew up with I have two ways of holding thought. There's Asian way of thinking, there's Western way of thinking, trying to bring that together. And also, like, I, from the very beginning, marched to the drum beat of my own tune. Like, I could not do what other people wanted to make them happy because I felt sick. Like, I didn't feel good in my body. And so that sometimes created discord because I would do me. And when you...
That's a very Western thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't always mesh with a traditional Indian female, right? Like, so like moving out, like when I left to move to the island, like girls at that, like still, but at that time, right? Like girls get married and then they move. Like I went on my own. So that was a big deal.
To Pandora Avenue.
Well, to go to school there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think for others and myself, and I mean, and not to say that I have a lot of experience, but I have 48 years. It takes courage to follow your heart.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any way around it.
And people around you who love you may not understand or agree or may get upset. But funnily enough, it is one of the signs that you are doing your Ming.
Yeah. Well, the people around us, they love us. They care for us.
Yes.
And they don't want to see us suffer.
No.
And when we set off for something that's a big bite,
Yeah.
a big potential for suffering,
Yeah.
it hurts. It's hard for them because, like, okay, if you make it, maybe that's good. We don't know. We've never seen an acupuncturist. We don't know what that's like in our family experience. So even if you make it, it's a jump ball. And if you don't make it,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's even worse, right? People that care about us don't want to see us suffer. Tell me a little more. Besides blame and resentment, what are some of the, I'm going to say, deadly sins or bad habits that we all pick up that tend to get in the way that would be helpful for us to clear? And how do we do that?
Well, I feel like I'm in that process. But it's like blame, guilt, resentment, anger, right? The things...
Envy, maybe?
Envy.
How about envy?
Yeah, but I think like even just think about like even in 5 spirits or 5 elements, like think about water and kidney, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kidney, when it's not balanced, you're in fear.
Mm-hmm.
When it's balanced, when the water is balanced, you have trust. Right? In the earth, when it's not balanced, you have worry. Right? When it's balanced, you have gratitude, you can accept like the abundance, right? You're trusting the flow, like you're not overthinking things.
You just said something really interesting, and I think it's something a lot of us acupuncturists have trouble with. Accept the abundance.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a very earthy thing, right? That's the harvest.
Isn't that a strange thing, though, to be able to have trouble with accepting abundance?
The thing is, in order to let something new in, you have to make space. But that also means letting go, right? And that's the metal, the ability to let go or surrender. But sometimes the water, right? If you're afraid to do that, if you don't have the trust, you get stuck. So one of the keys is to balance the 5 elements, to balance your 5 spirits yourself as well. And because things get abdicated in relationships, like say someone's more woody than you or they have a bigger anger than you might abdicate that. And we have to reclaim these parts, you know, like it was interesting. And you might know more because this is me going off of what I learned. But she, like Lillian had said, the Tao, like the original character, and I do not read characters, so this is from my notes, was a face running on a path. Like it is this idea of returning to our original face, like from before birth.
You could see it that way. Yeah.
And so this idea of our face, like now it's not that far-fetched, because like if we say you can tell what a person's health is from their tongue, well, why not the face?
Makes sense to me. I'd be in on that.
But I think so here's the thing, like, and this is what I've learned face reading. There's looking at someone and then there's seeing someone. So like you could look at someone, maybe you see colors, maybe you see lines, maybe you see certain features, right? But seeing someone, how do you see someone shed, right? How do you even quantify that or explain that?
And I just heard you a few minutes ago be very respectful about the seeing part and looking for permission before you open that up. Because that's a whole different level of interaction.
Yeah, because I think what's shocking, and I take this for granted, and maybe you know from our conversations, I forget sometimes how honest I can be or truthful. And it sometimes comes as a shock to patients. And I think it's because we don't always have authentic or honest or heart to heart conversations. We're trained in like small talk or weather or whatever the thing is. But I think something happens when you are with someone in a room and you say, I see you.
Well, you felt that, and from what I heard you say, all the students of Lillian felt that being seen.
Yes. Yes.
And having experience of, I'm the favorite. Just because you connected with your heart, you're connected, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Now, imagine now when I come into the clinic, right? And I can extend that to the patients. The patients feel it. Because I'm like, why are we in the clinic? We're in the clinic because somebody is suffering. We're probably practitioners because somewhere we were suffering, right? Like when you talk about the wounded healer, like I can say...
Or still are.
Yes, yes. So I know, like I made a conscious decision when I quit my job to do Chinese medicine, I wanted to heal parts of myself. And then the latent effect of it was seeing patients and then maybe just being a little bit ahead of where they are so I can help pull them along, right? But I've got to keep going. And so then I can be true to what I'm doing. Like, how can I ask patients to do something if I'm not going to do it? It just makes no sense to me.
Don't worry, patients won't follow you anyway.
Yes.
I mean, if you haven't, my sense is if we haven't cleared something for ourselves and we're giving advice about that thing that we're still kind of wonky on, they won't listen.
No.
For good reason, because it's not reliable. It's not true.
Yeah. And so, like, face reading is this opportunity to really be present with someone in a room and help them understand where there might be chi blockages and also help them understand gifts from the ancestors, what talents they have, why it's so important that they're here. Like all of us matter. And everyone that comes to us, there is some exchange, right? There is a currency exchange that's happening, and we're in charge of what we're bringing to the room.
Sounds like you bring a valuable coin to that realm.
Yeah, sometimes I ask patients, like, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, I'm doing this, and they can't see it. And I said, okay, if you have 5 gold coins, where are you putting your 5 gold coins? And sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm putting it all into work. That's not what I want. And so they're like, and then I'm like, then take your gold coins and decide where you're going to put them. So sometimes it's simple analogies, but like even the face reading, like it's not just the clinic. Like sometimes I'll go to the bank or there'll be a server and I'll see something and then I'll just start talking and you'll see people's eyes light up and something moves. And like in Lori's work, I think she says anything that moves chi is an alchemical tool. Like you don't have to use a needle to move chi.
True enough.
Yeah, like even the server like that we had dinner with when she told me like her dream is to make soap on a farm and we're talking and she has these earthy features. I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally see that. And then she's like, oh, it's so great we talked today. And you just never know.
It seems like you just use the word gifts. I often think of gifts as a kind of latent potential.
Yeah.
A potency. Maybe not quite manifest yet, but has the capability of doing so if the conditions are right. But for some reason, there's something that doesn't quite let it come all the way out yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, often enough, it's things in our family stories or experiences we've had or experiences people that we respect have had, and so that influences us. And to have somebody recognize what might be possible without demanding that it come forth, just seeing it. It's like, I see this.
Yeah.
To me, it reminds me of what a needle does. We've all had this experience. You walk in the room after the needles have been in. It's very, very quiet. You can feel how it's changed. The room has changed. The person's different. And it's obvious. And you take them out and they'll ask, like, what was that? Like what did you put in me? And the answer is, acupuncture puts nothing into you. It's impossible for acupuncture to put anything in you. All it can do is call forth some latent potential. I tell them what they're feeling is them.
Yeah, and that's everything.
It makes such a difference.
Yes.
And you get to do it with this unique capacity you have of recognizing just what's being shown to you.
Yeah, and I think, because I've listened to your podcast for many years, and which I do think this is one of your gifts. This is one of your legacies I believe you will leave. Regardless, even if you quit today, you have this legacy. But I remember listening to 2 of Lillian's podcasts, and I've listened to her speak. And I think the thing I want your listeners to know is that I was surprised at the depth of what I learned through face reading. And I don't know that was always conveyed in what she said, and how much it can really help people.
You've been surprised by what you found.
Yeah, because I think sometimes it's a little hokey, like, oh, you're judging a book by a cover, or, oh, like, if you have a mole here, it means this, right? Like,
I'm going to interrupt for just a second.
What?
It's cool having kids because they say stuff.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, damn, that's right.
Yeah.
Remember my kid at one point, I don't know, middle school or something, and she goes, well, people do judge a book by their cover.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes.
We're not supposed to.
No.
But we do. That's why so much effort goes into the title and cover of a book. There's something to it.
There is. And I think one of the things that sort of a light bulb's going off right now is when you look at the cover of a book, say you look at it through one set of eyes, and then once you learn something new, you can appreciate it differently. And I think there's a lot of features, and especially in this culture, and to even circle back to the facial acupuncture, like, why do people come? There's such a huge demand in the West to look a certain way, to be a certain way. I mean, marketing is the exact opposite of face reading. Marketing is about telling you what's wrong and how I'm going to sell it to you, like tell you what's not right. Face reading is all about what's right. Like, I had to do it, like, you can see I just did a flip side of all the education I got in university. And the face reading was the complete undoing of it, because it's all about what's right. And the features, like, say someone has like a bump on their nose, like, that's actually a really great feature. Or things like we're trying to change or alter. One of the gifts that I feel, like, for example, I had someone walk in to pick up a patient, and he had these beautiful big ears. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, these beautiful ears you have. And his eyes just lit up. He doesn't really like his ears. Now, suddenly, his ears are a wonderful thing. And they are, like, the jing in them. So I think when we can tell people what's good about the features, you see yourself differently. And she did that for me too, right? She helped explain some of my features that I might not have liked so much. And she was like, no, this is what's great about it. And I think when we accept ourselves too, there's a part of healing in that too. Like, think about how many,
100%. Now, because now you have access to it.
Yeah, and not only that, when you accept it, then you're not blocked with all this chitter chatter about why it's not good. And now you can get on with your work. You can do you. You're not busy fighting you.
Getting out of your own way.
And that's what I've had to do personally. Like, I'll own that. Like, that's me in a nutshell.
Golden Flower Chinese Herbs is celebrating 35 years of existence. Wow, what a journey it's been. It started because the baby boom generation was frustrated with conventional medicine. In the 1970s, there was a resurgence of interest in what was considered natural healing modalities. After President Nixon's visit to China, acupuncture started to emerge from the Chinese communities into greater awareness. It was a magical moment. 2025 is the 50th anniversary of the legal practice of acupuncture in the state of California. Oh my, the awareness and access to acupuncture has grown incredibly. So much has changed since back then. But some hasn't. Like many companies, Golden Flower Chinese Herbs does a lot of business through their excellent website. But they still have real humans who answer the phones. You won't get lost in a voicemail messaging maze when you call. Like our medicine, Golden Flower Chinese Herbs is a bit old-fashioned. Visit them at gfcherbs.com or pick up the phone and give them a call. Well, and there you are with your marketing education.
Yeah.
And learning face reading.
Yes.
Which is a complete opposite and undoing.
Yes.
I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner, and so I can't not recognize that those two are completely entangled and interwoven.
Yes.
And now you have more access to both sides of that.
Mm-hmm.
That gives a certain kind of potency.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is like each face reading is unique. Like when we went to Seattle, I got my face reading done first. We were so tired. So I went first. She took the kids to get food. And then when she came, I was so tired. I couldn't even leave the room. I just sat there. I was like, I'm going to give the iPhone to the kids. She got her face reading done. I was there. So I did hear it. And it was totally different. And then I realized, oh, this is not a cookie cutter machine. So I think we don't know why we're in circumstances. Like if I wasn't so tired, I would have left. So maybe it was like, there's a saying she used to say, it's good, bad luck. So sometimes, right? So sometimes things are the way they are because it's good for you, or you need to get something or see something. Like if I wasn't so tired and I sat there, I wouldn't have heard that face reading. But interestingly,
you would have missed it.
Yes, but she didn't hear mine.
You would have missed it.
Because I went first, right? So we don't know why things transpire the way they do. And I think if we really, if we trust the Tao has our back, that's Lori's saying. If the Tao has our back, we're going to be okay. And not only are we going to be okay, our patients are going to be okay. But it's, for me, all of the noise or worries or anxieties, it gets in the way, but I have to come back to that piece, the Tao has my back.
How do you tap into your courage? Because that takes courage.
Mm-hmm.
To let the Tao have your back. Because if the Tao is steering, okay, it's got your back, it's working in your best interests, but it might take you through a pretty sketchy part of town for a while.
Yes.
How do you connect to your courage to take you through it?
I think we go to the part that we have faith in, and we go to the part where we're grounded. So I think for everyone, it would be different. If you have a practice, or if there's something that you go to, or a meditation, because I have a practice, I go to that place. And that place comes for me, from childhood and being Indian, right? So I was given a meditation practice from a very young age. But I think all of us have something, like you mentioned your Jewish background. Potentially there is something given to you, not necessarily that's Jewish, but is a gift from your parents or grandparents or some, right?
Oh.
So yeah. So I'm like,
yes, 100%. I got a picture of my grandpa right over here on the wall.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
I wonder if he was a good speaker. I wonder if he liked to talk.
He didn't talk much. He didn't talk much, and I wish I'd listened more to him.
Yes. Yes. I'm sure there are gifts from there. But I think, yeah, the way I would say the answer is to have faith, and then also to know your virtues, right? Dao, De, Qing. De is virtue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think every person needs to know what they stand for and it's unique to them, and then they hold that true to themselves.
Virtue is kind of a loaded word these days.
Yes, it totally is.
Tell us a little bit more about the kind of virtue that is Dao De Jing to Dao, or to.
Okay, so I can't, right, and I can't say that I'm an expert, but for me, it's that moral compass. It is what you know in your heart to be true. I don't think this is like a just right and wrong or a judgment. I think it exceeds that, or it's above that. It's that loving heart, that virtuous space that decides to come from a good place, like that like the intention, right? It doesn't mean you're not going to mess it up because we're human, but I think the virtues, and how do you know what your virtues are unless you test them, right? So how do you know?
Oh my God, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and that's what.
How do you know what your virtues are?
Yes.
And how do you know what your true beliefs are?
Yes.
And what your heart is?
Yes.
If it's not tested.
Yeah, and
without testing, you got nothing.
And Lillian would say that because there is an area on the face for your 20s and for your teens, and it's often marked. And people will feel shame, or they'll be like, why did I do that? And she always used to say, well, that's the time to test your virtues. Like, how do you know? Like, you need to do that. So I think acknowledging that we go through these markers, because you can see age markers and transitions on different places, and then deciding how you want to be. I think it comes back to also that resistance, forgiving ourselves or accepting ourselves. I had a patient come in the clinic, and she was in her later 30s, maybe early 40, and wanted to get pregnant, but was like, oh, I'm okay if I don't. But I was like, but is this what you want? And I don't know that she had actually just said, yes, this is what I want. And the moment she said that, something changed in the room. Because I think when you speak your truth, whether you get it or not, your body hears you. And then your body's like, I heard the truth. So it's not like you have to get it or go after it, but we have to be honest with ourselves, what we want, and then the body responds, and then that whole authentic part shows up in the room too, right? Because if you give yourself permission to do that, they have permission to do that.
That's a tall order. Permission and being honest with what we want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of feeling into it for a moment. I think you're dead on with this. I'm just going into it for a moment with myself. Because yes, I've had experience of that, and it's really helpful. It's also heartbreaking. It's potentially deeply heartbreaking to be honest about what you want and knowing that you're not going to get it, or that it might be impossible to get. There's a relationship and it's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or aged to a certain point. Yeah, that's not going to happen because biology.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't get what you want, but knowing what you want, regardless of if you can get it or not, that seems empowering.
Well, yeah, and I love this analogy. You have to understand, I'm still on my way. I'm still learning, right?
Who ain't?
Yeah, but this heart breaking or this heart cracking, I've been sitting with that. I think the heart break, the light can come through it, and heart is fire. Heart is Shen, right? Shen through the mouth, the voice is what comes from the heart, what we say, right? And I think when we...
If it's true...
Yeah. Okay. And if we crack it open or we break it, so to speak, I think what we allow is for something to come through, right? I'll always, Lily always used to say, alchemy is in the fire, the Neidan, right? The fire is where it changes, and fire is the heart. So I feel possibly things go, because even lines, they're trapped fire, right? It's just trapped fire. And if you move it, then the lines go. And I tell patients this, and I've even had clients, one time someone came for facial acupuncture, and then I said to her, actually, if you can maybe just figure out what you feel resentful about, I think these lines will go. And she came back to me a few weeks later. No, I know. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah.
this sounds crazy and I don't know, but this is what my teacher told me. And her lines had like lightened up. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I knew who the person was. And I felt it." And she's like, "Yeah, I had to change that relationship entirely."
Bingo.
But I think like intuitively we already know. Like when you look at a woman in love or a woman going through a breakup, their face is different.
Mm-hmm.
We can see that. And I think anytime there's an injection of love or that heartbreak, like if you can open it, something changes in the room. Like one of the tenements for face reading, she said, is to love our patients unconditionally. She wrote that as instruction for face reading.
Sounds a little Sun Samyalish there.
Yeah. And so like for me, like even to talk to you today, because I was saying like I've had to overcome my own inner criticism or dialect. This is not like the medical doctor or the facts or like how can I sit here with you and we talk about what's in the heart, what's in the face, and then bring it back to the needle, how to move chi. And yet it's happening because it's happening in my clinic. It's happening like when I eat dinner. It's happening at the bank when I talk to the person and she suddenly starts crying because I could see something on her face and I asked one question and now the banker is crying and telling her trainee that this is not a normal banking experience. You know?
I love it. This is not a normal banking experience. Yeah, this is not a normal bank customer either.
She said that to the trainee beside her. Yeah, but so we forget. Like, so here's the thing about gifts too. Like some things in our family are passed down or things that we're so used to, we don't think they're gifts because it comes so easy to us. And then you enter another environment and people are like, whoa, how can you do that? Right? Like if you know how to juggle and you're a really good juggler, but everyone in your family juggles, so it's not a big deal. And then you go to a family event and they're like, who's got talents? And you're juggling and suddenly you're the star. Like this is how innocuous gifts can be and talents. Like when we talked in the beginning about the big sign from the heavens of like what you're supposed to do or the mandate. I think this is also in that same category. These are the things that are glimmers or the things that come so naturally. Like it's about the wu wei, right? The effort with no effort. That's who you are. It's the Ming and the Sing. It's your golden path and then your innate talents, like the things that you have.
Golden path. Tell me a little more about what that is.
Yeah, so the golden path is like the mandate from heaven, like the translation of like why we're here. But it was interesting because just this morning I read it's not necessarily that the path is golden, it's that you become golden, that you illuminate.
Oh.
Right? That you illuminate that glow.
The path is not golden.
Not, it could be.
You become golden.
Yes.
From walking that path.
Yeah, and that's a very metal quality, right? Like often we'd say it's the metal that ascends, right? So, because the thing is too, once you've become enlightened, she used to say you go up, you get enlightened, then you have to come back down and share it. Yeah.
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 Well, she certainly passed something along.
Yeah.
It sounds like you were able to catch it. And with her passing, it also sort of kicked you into action. Now you can't send someone to your teacher.
No.
You have to do the work.
Yes.
Which is, of course, what you were seeking in the first place when you first went to acupuncture school.
Yeah, and it's been a lovely journey, and I'm still now in it. Like, so mine is different because now it's how do I combine this in the clinic? How do I bring these two together? And I also think for all of us out there, like everything we're learning or the people we come in contact with, especially with mentors, we don't know the time we have, which is like such an obvious statement, but also that these gifts that we're being given, to cherish them because we're very lucky to receive the information that we have.
Yes, we are. And then we have a responsibility.
Well, yeah, because see, I was so scared to talk to you, but then there was part of me, it was like, but she said to do this. So I had to get over my fear to do.
Well, you're the one that was talking earlier about the fear.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause,
It's sort of part of the soup. It's part of the, I hate this word, but it's the best way I can get close to. It's part of the process. It's part of the recipe.
Yeah, but like I feel like if in my heart I'm honoring my mentor, I'm doing the best I can. I know I'll make mistakes and possibly fumble, but if I know the intention is there, right, then I can do it. And I think that's the trust. Like that's how I can overcome the fear.
What do you think Lillian did with her mistakes?
She told us.
She owned them.
And oh yeah, and so that's what I loved about being her student. Like she told us about like her divorces and the hardships she had in marriage or the things she did. So I felt like as her student, it gave me permission to not be perfect. Like often you'll go to teachers and they're like, they seem to have it all together or they've learned so much. And when she would talk, she was very open about her shortcomings. And so it made it so much easier. And her whole style of teaching was through story. It was story after story after story.
What are your plans for the future? Sounds like you've been doing the work. You've taken it on. You recognize your responsibility to keep it moving.
Yeah.
You've been working it in clinic in the unique way that is yours and only yours to do.
Yes.
What's next? Are you sharing this? Are you speaking about it?
I'm talking to you today.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I've had some people ask me to teach and I've sort of set it aside. But it's funny, like, okay, so when you talk about kids, everyone in my family are teachers but me. All my sisters, I have 4 sisters. My father was a teacher and my mother was a teacher in India. And that was always my dream. And then I thought I have nothing to teach. And I applied to get my teaching degree and I got rejected. And then I got into business school. So I'm like, maybe it's just timing. But yeah, I think if I can do it some justice, I think it would be wonderful to teach this face reading. I think the other thing in the future is to keep clearing my path, like to keep opening my heart so I can do it, because I find when things get difficult, I want to close it or I get caught up in worries and anxiety. But then when I'm engaged in the conversation, or like even with you today, you know, my heart feels so happy. And it feels so happy to share this wonderful person that made a difference in my life and how it extends to just everyday conversation anywhere. And I think maybe that's how we live on. Like maybe that's the Shen that never dies, you know? That's the part of us that never dies. It's always alive.
There's a lot of other paths we could go down with that. It's amazing how we've had great good fortune to have the opportunities that did show up on the periphery, and we bothered to take notice. And I suspect that's a trustworthy process, and I suspect the process of continuing to clear out whatever might be in the way. And that takes time. It's part of a yangsheng, self-cultivation. Part of being human, Here we are between heaven and earth. It's kind of a mess. Like, don't expect for it ever to be perfect. Expect it to be a perfect mess. But, somehow if you have capacity to, and this harkens to face reading, but also just to see clearly. What's the situation?
Yes.
It's easier to know what to do. And if you're working with people in particular, being able to look at the face, what a powerful connection. To be seen. There's nothing like being seen. It's like falling in love. How do you fall in love? Well, someone sees you. It's almost impossible not to fall in love.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. She used to say, like, keep your face reading to a certain amount of time, because otherwise afterwards they may fall in love with you.
It's good to have boundaries.
And boundaries are so important. That's Earth. And yeah, and that's what I also learned in the mentorship from Lori, like boundaries, heart-centered boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can have unconditional love. We can love people, and we must have boundaries as well. And there's something you said that, and I think it's so important. This takes time.
Mm-hmm.
There is no need to rush things. It does take time. And like, so now you see this on the face. Let's say there's a deep-rooted fear. Say it's from some trauma. Like, and some traumas go way back. Like, you can even see, like, in your lineage, for the Holocaust, for anyone who survived that, and for those ancestors to be alive here, what they went through. Now, think about, how are we going to clear the chi? Like, it's going to take time. Like, you might work on some kidney points, right? Like, you might work on the hun for the vision, so the liver. So I'm like, if we give ourselves permission to gently go through it, then we can trust we will get through it, you know?
You saying it's okay to be a little imperfect?
Totally. That's the perfection, right? Like, it has to be. Otherwise, like, I don't know, then I'm screwed otherwise.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, Anita, thank you. This has been delightful.
Oh, thank you.
And, well, you just have me thinking about gifts right now. I'm just going to take that for the moment.
Yeah.
That there's some gifts, under the surface maybe.
Talents, gifts, abilities. These are all things like Qi, Jing, Shen, right? Ming, Ling. Those were her things. But I think the biggest thing is, like, if we're in the business of healing, what is that? Like, what is that? How are we doing it? And what can we do to create that space so that it is occurring,
It's one of the fun things about doing the work. We get to explore it.
Yes.
Every single day.
Yeah. And yeah, I have so much respect for what you do and the conversations that you have. Like I said, I do believe it is one of your legacies. I do think this is part of your Ming.
Okay, I was about to wind this down, but you just had to bring up Ming. So we're going to have to go just a few more minutes.
Okay.
Ming is one of those, gosh, how do I say this? I remember being in acupuncture school.
Yeah.
And I'd hear something, especially some Chinese idea.
Mm-hmm.
I got no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you have teachers explaining it. And, there are some ideas, some concepts, they're really big. And they come from another culture. And they come from another time and another place. And the terms get thrown around and used like, oh yeah, we all know what Ming is. That's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. Tell me a little bit about Ming, because I've been at this for 27 years. And I feel like there are so many things. It's like, Michael Max, you should already know about this. You should be very clear on this. You've been at this a while.
Mm-hmm.
Ministerial fire is another one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like, well, it's just a ministerial fire thing. And I'm like, ministerial fire? Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
I am still piecing that one together. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
That I know so little about it. So,
yeah.
Just give us a little bit on Ming.
Okay.
And I'm not asking you from a scholar perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking you from a language perspective. I'm asking you from the perspective of the tradition and the skill and the gift that you've received from Lillian. What's Ming?
Wow. So this would be, since like it's in a conversation, so this would be my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think about Ming as what makes you glow. What?
Oh.
Right? What makes you shine from inside? What is it that when someone looks at you, they see you? Because you are very clear about who you are and where you've come from, even before you were in this body. Like, even before you had this face, you know who your original face is and who you are, right? Like, to know thyself.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's what makes you grow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And like and all of us have our place, right? All of us have, like, we're all stars in the sky. Each of us has that place, right?
Well, when you put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like if the sun is the Tao, that's fine. Then we can be the stars.
Terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Oh, thank you.
for a delightful time.
Oh, it's so wonderful talking to you.
All right. Well, until the next time then.
Okay.
While face reading could be a party trick, for Anita, it's a way of seeing. Not just what is etched into the living flesh, but beyond that, a recognition that reaches beyond features and lines to what gives insight into obstacles and opportunities that connect us with our Ming. In her clinic, she uses these skills to uncover the deeper stories carried in the body and the spirit. The echoes of ancestry, emotion, and experience that affect our health and, at times, create barriers to the nourishment that we need most. Sometimes this means noticing where resentment or fear still leaves its imprint. Sometimes it's affirming a feature that points toward a strength that a patient hasn't yet recognized. The effect of reading the features that in turn plumb the hidden depths is that people feel seen, and that recognition itself becomes a kind of invitation to change. Face reading has also changed Anita's life. It's deepened her practice, challenged her to clear her own field so that she can see others more clearly, and taught her that healing often begins with honest presence. Lillian's words, "Be you," and "Be you more." That is something that touches me deeply when I hear it. Maybe it rings true for you as well. Well, here we are at the end of this episode. If you've listened up to this point, you're either a rabid fan of Qiological or the forward button on your podcast player stopped working. If you are indeed a fan of the podcast, you can help us to bring new episodes to our community of practitioners by supporting us with a membership or a one-time contribution. Details, of course, are on the website. That's it for today, friends. Join us again next Tuesday for another thoughtful episode of Qiological.